Jill, I don't know who we could have had other than Jill Koch at this moment. We're lucky. I don't know how lucky she feels to have her presidency start with COVID, but I'm telling you, we are very, very fortunate because this is the right leader at the right time. Compassion, passion, ability, and a love for this congregation, for its members, for Yiddishkeit, for the Jewish people. I stood under the chuppah, as I said, and now it's my pleasure to welcome this young lady who's grown into such an amazing, beautiful, strong, confident, talented, and committed young woman in our congregation, Jill Koch, our president.
Thank you, Rabbi. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. It was the season of light, it was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope, it was the winter of despair. We had everything before us, we had nothing before us. We were all going direct to heaven, we were all going direct the other way. While these are lines from the opening paragraph of Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities, define an era set by the backdrop of the French Revolution, they could very well be defined as our universe of 2020. We are in the midst of a tale of two eras, the era pre-COVID-19 and the era we are living in, with this new future ahead, a time like this. Good evening. I am Jill Koch, your president at Beth Torah. I never dreamed that this would be how I would address the congregation as your president, speaking to an empty sanctuary on the holiest of days. It was just 7 months ago that Brian and I were here on this very bima to celebrate our daughter Brooke's bat mitzvah. We were lucky. It seems that since March, nothing has been the same. On June 1st, my first day of president, our cities and countries were facing uncertainty in the immediate aftermath of the brutal killing of George Floyd and looting that followed. We received a call from the FBI stating that we needed to prepare the building and remove valuables. Here at Beth Torah, that means our Torahs. Within the hour, I was here at Beth Torah, loading Torahs into my car wrapped in talit so they could be moved to secure locations. With the help of our clergy and our leadership team, we made sure that our Torahs were safe. In just a single day, we learned that we would be here for Beth Torah, no matter what challenges we were facing in a time like this. In the past few months, the board of directors has been tasked with making many difficult decisions that none of us ever thought we would have to make. First up was the hard choice of canceling camp. We looked at all options. Our youth and camp director, Jenny Buchholz, had made numerous contingency plans, but with the uncertainty swarming around and the financial wreckage that limited camp programs would have caused, Camp Simcha 2020 became Camp in a Box. Notwithstanding these difficult times, however, Jenny and her team have adapted virtual programmings and out-of-the-box ideas. We are continuing to provide Jewish programs for our USY and Kadima programs in a time like this. In March, COVID-19 led to shutdowns of our campus, and our vibrant early childhood program came to a halt. Our teachers had to adopt new strategies and virtual programming. Most of us celebrated Zoom Passover Seders, and we were just getting accustomed to this new reality. Beth Torah was there for our young families as best as we could. But let's face it, children under the age of 6 cannot sit for hours in Zoom classes, and this put more work on the parents. Although we had to close camp toward the end of summer, we had another difficult decision: whether to reopen our early childhood program for students to attend in person. At a time where our public schools announced 100% virtual schooling and were pushing back start dates, we also knew that our early childhood program is in the lifeblood of this temple. These students represent our future. Under the leadership of Sandra Koch and her team, we truly have an amazing program. We have developed safety protocols and limited access to the building so parents can feel secure when dropping off their kids at our Beth Torah. That is just something we need to do at a time like this. While the building was closed during the summer, we took advantage of the opportunity to upgrade the classrooms, paint the building, make deep cleans, and remove clutter, some of which have been here for more than 20 years. In addition to providing a place for our youngest students, under the guidance of Maura Gabby, we have opened our religious school under 2 platforms, in person and virtual. Families have the option of picking the platform that works best for them. We will hope that we will be in person soon, but only time will tell. We thank Jenny, Sandra, and Maura Gabby for teaching Jewish values and setting brighter paths for our children. I remember coming into the sanctuary on a Saturday morning service on March 14th. Our daughter Brooke had the opportunity to reread part of her bat mitzvah Torah portion. We were spread out, one family per row, and every other row blocked off. We knew things would be different. Then, as everything else was fully shutting down, we knew that Beth Torah too would need to go virtual. Many of our attendees for services are in the more vulnerable group, susceptible to the worst of COVID-19. We need to make sure that you are protected in a time like this. Beth Torah is famous for consistently having morning minyan. You always know that we are here for you. Well, we didn't miss a beat. Morning minyans and our Shabbat services were broadcasted via live stream for everyone to see. During the shutdown, a new highlight of our week is sitting down for Friday night Shabbat services dinner with Rabbi Roisman, Cantor, Evelyn, and singing and bringing music into our homes. In the past few months, we've upgraded the sound system and the quality of our cameras. Each week, our clergy work to make sure these services are beautiful and a production that all can see. While we are farther apart physically, we are closer together both virtually and spiritually. Access to our clergy has never been easier, as the rabbis are putting on weekly programs that any member can participate with just a click of a button. Like other organizations, both profit and not-for-profit, the governing body of our temple is the board of directors, which is made up of many leaders in our community. I can promise you, as president and as a mom, that the board's concern is always first and foremost the safety and well-being of our Beth Torah families. To the members of the board and the leadership teams of the Men's Club, Sisterhood, Social Action, and Latin committees, thank you for all that you do. As your president, I am proud and humbled by the support of many people. Our past presidents have really been there. They have been a sounding board and a circle of guidance. Special thank yous to Marsha Orvieto, Rick Mars, Robert Goldfarb, Stephen Scheck, Michael Siegel, and Rich Berger. I also would like to include Howard Chaffetz, Mindy Kirkin, Michael Kotzen, and Charles Koch for joining in the sounding board. You've each been there to offer a shoulder to lean on and off hearts of gold. Back to Rich. Most past presidents ride off into their sunset after their term of office. However, or their second term if you're Rick Mars. However, Rich Berger is something different. Although Rich is now immediate past president, Rich has continued to be involved in every step this year. Rich makes sure I'm not alone and has been directly involved on almost a daily basis. I want to thank Rich for all of his support and special thank yous to his amazing wife, Judy, who has graciously lent Rich to our temple for the past few years. Rich also led our High Holiday Task Force, along with tremendous support from Don Francisco, Michael Behar, and Barbara Goldfarb. You truly made this experience as best as we can under truly trying circumstances. To each of you, Toda Rabbah. This year, High Holiday Appeal has been anything but ordinary. I mean, how do you ask people to donate when you can't see them or even invite them into the building? Well, under the leadership of our financial vice president, Michael Kotzen, we have made more phone calls, reached out to more of our members, sent thank you cards to remind everyone that we appreciate your support in keeping the lights on. We are not finished. Michael would like us to exceed our goals, and I know that he is the right person to do this at a time like this. We need your support now more than ever. This year marks the 80th year of Beth Torah. One of those pillars for many years is Marshall Baltuck, our Director of Development. Marshall and his wife Rochelle are both past presidents. They provide infinite wisdom and a historical perspective of Beth Torah's impact in our community. To both of you, Toda Rabah. Speaking of our pillars, Rabbi Roisman, you are the glue that keeps Beth Torah together. You enlighten us every day. You inspire us to be better people. You teach us, you love us, you guide us. Your strength and love is why everyone can call Beth Torah home. Rabbi Farber, thank you for all that you do. You go above and beyond what we should ever expect with a rabbi emeritus. 15 years ago, you officiated our wedding. Little did I know that I would be now here thanking you as president. Cantor, thank you for your beautiful music and spirit that you bring into our services every day. Some people say that behind every great man is a great woman. Well, I say that behind every great man stands no woman. Rather, the great woman is standing right next to him or in front. Here at Beth Torah, we have a great professional staff that is standing with our clergy every day. To Marla Cohen, you have been instrumental in leading Beth Torah's efforts during this COVID crisis. From fixing our live stream feeds to setting up our Zoom events, you have helped make this transition as smooth as possible. To Andrea Beck, you have helped implement amazing programs that emphasize providing value to our members each day. We are excited that Ronit Felser joined us this year to oversee our school admissions and our membership. Welcome aboard. Sherry, Leah, Terry, Kata, and Vero, you are all there to provide support to make sure things run well. I would not have been able to devote my time that I have over the last few months without the love and support of Brian and our girls. They are the reason why I am here today. They know that Beth Torah is our second home, and they know that we need to do everything that we can for our Beth Torah family. Today is not just a high holiday, but it is also my husband Brian's birthday, a day he proudly shares candles with Rabbi Roisman. Happy birthday to these two amazing men in my life. On this night, while you may see your virtual birthday cake, you cannot eat it too. Let me go back in time about 3,000 years to the golden age of Israel. According to Rabbi Lisa Rubin, King Solomon was trying to humbly ask his wisest servant, so he asked him to perform a seemingly impossible task to find something that did not exist. His request to find a magic ring if sad man wore it, he would become happy, and if a happy man wore it, he'd become sad. The story suggests that the servant could not find anything of such nature. So King Solomon decided upon himself to go to a jeweler and design a ring with the inscription in Hebrew saying, Gam zi ya'avor, which means this too shall pass. During a time like this, we are all facing uncertainties. But if history teaches us anything, it is that this too shall pass. During these times, let us be grateful for what we have to do. And I want you to remember that Beth Torah is always here for you. When we remember that we are always here for one another, it will be the best of times. During certain Jewish holidays, we often say next year in Jerusalem. For this year, I will say next year, live at Beth Torah Ben Ira campus. May you each be sealed in the book of life, Ga'amar Hatima Tova.